Hi guys, welcome back to Code Master Coach, your medical coding tutor. Guys, today I just wanted to share with you my CPC exam experience. Guys, I went to college to get my bachelor's degree in health information administration. And upon completing that degree, I sat for and passed my RHIA. Now, because medical coding is taught in that program, I learned medical coding within my bachelor's degree program. Because after all, with my RHIA and my bachelor's degree, I would oversee medical coders. But guys, I got tired. As I told you in one of my previous videos, I got tired of managing people. And I just wanted to just go to work, do my work, and go home. When you manage people, it's not that easy. Things happen after hours, before hours. So I noticed in my position as the director of health information management, medical coders who I supervised, their salaries were in my back door. Coders were making almost as much as the director of health information management. And so I saw that as an avenue to be able to log on, do my work, and log off, and not have to worry after hours. So I saw that as something I could enjoy doing. So I decided I wanted to pursue medical coding. And yes, with my RHIA, I was offered coding jobs because it was understood that because of the RHIA, I could manage, I could supervise, I took medical coding, I could oversee it. Why not? But I just didn't feel comfortable with my medical coding skills. When I took the class, I studied just enough to pass the class. I didn't see it as anything I was going to pursue. So I didn't feel comfortable with my coding skills and knew that I needed to take a refresher class. So I signed up. And as with other students, we all came to class, or we came in that first week excited, ready to learn. We knew it was going to be a hard venture, but we were ready to do it. Second or third class along the way, we're okay. But somewhere in there, instructor came in and she was on chapter 9, and I was like, whoa, what happened to chapters 2 through 8? I'm just now beginning to understand chapter 1. How did I miss 2 through 8? I don't know what happened. One day I understood, but it seemed like the next day I didn't. I was lost. So I didn't feel ready to test, needless to say. When the others finished the class and others were able to go on and take their exam, I didn't feel comfortable. I wasn't ready. But I was determined to get my medical coding certification. So I took another course. The same thing happened. I got lost along the way somehow. I don't know whether it was I just couldn't stay current. I couldn't grasp the material as quickly as others, or what. Think about medical coding programs today. They send you the books, they send you the assignment, and they say, do the work. Some classes only last 5 weeks. You're lucky to get a 7-week class. You don't have that one-on-one ability to work with your instructor. You're told to email your questions. And by the time I would get a response back to my question, first of all, trying to email a question and say it the way that you want to ask it and be able to, and when the response would come back, it still didn't answer your question. You don't feel like you got your point across. Or when they did answer that question, you'd already passed that and had another question. So I stayed so frustrated that I really began to question my decision. But what was I supposed to do? I supervised with my RHIA, my bachelor's degree. I supervised coders, but I couldn't do what they were doing. So I wanted to learn medical coding, but I was getting frustrated. I had to get this. I had to get this. What else was I going to do? So I decided to slow things down, take my time, and really learn the material. When it was time to take my CPC exam, I had made my mind up that I had done all that I knew to do. So I took my CPC exam. I, I remember telling myself to, just in case I didn't pass, to try to remember some of the questions that were on the exam. But all I can remember walking out of that exam was saying to myself how hard that exam was. That exam was hard. I couldn't remember a single question that was on that exam. And the 5 hours and 40 minutes, at the time, I know now they give you 4 hours. When I took my exam, you had 5 hours, 40 minutes, 150 questions. And I remember thinking, that's almost 6 hours. I should be able to do this. But I don't know where that 5 hours and 40 minutes went. I sat down at 8 a.m. and before I knew it, they were saying time. That time went by so fast. And all I could remember was that was a hard exam. But you know what? I also remember telling myself that if I passed, or if I ever pass that exam, I'm going to be a darn good coder, because that exam was hard. If I passed it, I'm good. I'm good. Guess what? I passed. I passed that hard exam. So, if you're tired, if you're frustrated, if you're lost, email me at codemastercoach@gmail.com. Codemastercoach, all one word, @gmail.com. I've been there. I know what it's like to have an instructor talk above your head. You don't even know what she's talking about. The instructor came in and said, and the third-party payers. And I'm like, third-party payers? Who are the first party? Who's the second party? Who's third-party payers? What are you talking about? On Zoom, if I don't see that light, and yes, my students will say, Coach will make you show face on Zoom because I'm looking for the light bulb. I need to see you grasping it. I want to know, oh, I got it. So that if I don't see it, I know to ask for student-to-student interaction. I'll have students that will grasp it the first time, but I'll have others that'll struggle, and I'll see it. And I'll say to one of those students that I know grasped it, if you were to explain it in your words, how would you do it? And a lot of times that helps another student out, that student-to-student interaction. And my classes are 12 weeks long, and some people think, oh, that's so long. Yes, it is, but no, it's not. If a 5 to 7 week class is over before you grasp the material, think about having 12 weeks to complete a class. In that 12 weeks, you've got time to email, to ask questions, to get on Zoom, to learn the material, to research. I need interaction with my instructors when I was in school. That time will allot that. It will allow you to email me and say, Coach, jump on a Zoom with me. Something I'm not getting. I need that face-to-face time with you. And I only require content that is a part of the CPC exam. You know, ICD-10-CM, CPT, HCPCS, some medical billing, medical terminology, not history, psychology, public speaking. Those aren't on the exam, okay? So if you're looking for a medical coding program for you, give Codemaster Coach a chance. I have 7 classes. We start with medical terminology. You got to learn the language of medicine. It's an independent course. You have 12 weeks to complete the course. Most of my students complete the course in 8 weeks. Everything that you need is in that class. You don't need to purchase a textbook. I provide everything that you need in that class. The next class is Medical Coding Level 1, which is the foundational course. This is where I have students from other programs that will come into my program and they'll say, oh no, take me to your last coding class. I'm proficient there, but for some reason, something's not syncing. And in that class, they'll give me an X as the 7th character in an ICD-10-CM code. And I have to say, your foundation wasn't laid. You should have known that an X is never a 7th character in an ICD-10-CM code. The X is a placeholder that allows digits to be in each spot so that the 7th character is a 7th character. But yet, you finished your coding program and you didn't know that. You should have learned that in medical coding in your very first coding class. A placeholder is a placeholder, not the 7th character. And then you move on. After medical terminology, you go to medical coding level 1. Then you move on to level 2, where we go into actual body systems and diagnoses. And we're coding based on the diagnoses. And then you take CPT. I call it Introduction to CPT. This is your professional course. CPT is the professional side of coding. Now you have your facility side of coding and your professional side of coding. Well, CPCs, we're professional coders. So CPT is your professional classification. And then you go to level 3, medical coding level 3, which brings together the diagnoses and the procedures. And then your last class before prep is medical billing and reimbursement, which is where industry has now learned. Why hire a biller and a coder when you can hire a coder that can do billing? But make sure you get that billing and coding salary and not just the coding salary if you're going to be doing the coding and the billing. And then the last and final course is CPC Prep, which is my prep course. I prep you for the CPC exam. We not only review content of medical coding, which you should have already learned your guidelines. So we're just going each week spending time in each of the domains. But we're also mock testing. We're building our momentum. You're not expected to just come in and just sit for 4 hours. You got to build yourself up. And that's the goal of my CPC prep course. So if this sounds like something that you're interested in addition to the classes, we do offer Zoom sessions weekly, 3 to 4 Zoom sessions a week per class. So if this sounds like something you're interested in doing, email me at codemastercoach@gmail.com. I'll be starting a class on January 9th, and I'd love to work with you. Again, codemastercoach@gmail.com. Thanks, guys. I'll see you this week. We're continuing our review of the official coding guidelines.